Hi Sparsh, good evening.
Hello, sir.
Okay, so this is your landing zone.
Yes,
So
sir.
in pre-sales word, we call it like as a AWS landing zone. So what is your
Yeah.
understanding on AWS landing zone?
The basic management console, the basics.
Uh, yes, basic management console.
AWS
So
management console.
right. So actually, we are doing some our the preparation. We are doing some training kind of hands-on. So our landing zone is nothing because we don't have any production environment. Think you are Microsoft, or you take
Yeah.
example you are one of the company, right? ABC, and I'm the
Yeah.
service provider, right?
Yep.
So I will ask you. Suppose I'm a pre-sales guy, right? I will ask you, hey, customer XYZ ABC, where is your landing zone? AWS landing zone means
The AWS management console, the main, the first
not only console. This is the one thing. This is the one thing.
where you
Console is
land when
nothing.
you.
No, no. So try to understand this thing actually. Yesterday we talked about HLD,
Yes,
LLD.
sir.
Remember? High level
Yes, sir.
design
High level
diagrams,
design.
low level
Yeah.
design diagrams, right? So
Yes, sir.
uh, in landing zone it will come everything like what will be your AWS within the console, what will be your compute size, how many servers will be there, how's your networking defined. Let me show you, then it will give you clear picture. Because if I'm the customer, sorry, you are the customer. So if you're the customer, so you have must have many, the big infrastructure. You have production environment, you have dev, you have test, right? So we
Yes.
need separate landing zone for dev environment, separate landing zone for
Okay.
kind of production. So I think you can relate now things.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like
So
basically the environment you're gonna be.
details, yes. So that is called landing zone. We generally use AWS. So that terminology you're going to get here, you have to answer accordingly. Okay. So
Yeah.
people get confused. What is landing zone, right? The fly or they're taking off actually. So uh, going to services. See, study we talked about uh, two engines, if you remember correctly.
IAM and compute. EC2.
Compute. So we are going to do the lab part hands-on on only those two things actually. Okay, just
Okay.
to yeah, that will give you sense actually, and it will be really beneficial for you. So I'm going to search for this. Can you see this?
Yeah.
Security, identity,
Identity and
and
compliance.
compliance. So in short, because why security is associated with this IAM? Any idea?
So because basically login is the main issue that sometimes people could get into your computer, and
Mm-hmm.
IAM you have multi-factor authentication and everything, so it keeps your computer or your machine secure.
Mm-hmm.
um,
Single sign-on. Remember?
Single
Single
sign-on,
sign-on.
multi-factor as yeah.
SSO kind of things, right? So
Yeah.
IAM is kind of
Active Directory.
yes plus security.
Yeah.
Just a layman, it is kind of Active Directory plus security. Okay. So if you go to IAM, okay, let's see. Okay, you can see the screen, right?
Yep.
So you can see here, this is the IAM dashboard. That's identity and access management, right? You can see users here, right? You can see user groups. User groups are nothing like in Active Directory we have, right? Those
Yep.
distribution, those security groups.
Yep.
Remember? Right.
Yes, yes.
Users. So users
Roles.
like roles, and roles will be assigned to users or user groups, right? The policies,
Yeah.
Active Directory policies. Remember, you can
Group
relate that.
policies.
Right. So
Security
these are the
policies or group policies.
yes. So suppose you are for this subscription for this landing zone or this AWS console, you are the root user. What is the root user? Means you are the
The,
main user.
the
You are the
admin.
owner owner kind of, right?
Yep.
You own it because you used your ID, your credentials, your debit or credit card. So you are the owner of this landing zone, right? So what you can do, suppose I need access. Okay, so what you will
Yep.
do, you will create my user ID, right? And you will provide me not owner access, you will be providing some contributor access or downsize downgraded access, because you don't
Yep.
want to give full access to me because I'm the secondary user for you, right?
Yep.
Suppose you want to assign me some roles, so roles and everything you can assign from the role part, right? Policies. Suppose you want apply some policies. Okay, I'm not going to in the
Yep.
basic how to create users and going to waste time. You just understand those things.
Yeah.
Those are very simple thing. Okay,
Yep.
so
Yep.
policy is important. Policies means I'm going to apply the policy where you want to restrict me as a your secondary user, remember. So you want me to restrict, you want me to restrict on only compute. Okay, so you will
Okay.
give me policies, or we are going to assign roles related with compute. And if you want to restrict
Yep.
me only S3 bucket, remember what is S3?
It's a
Simple.
storage bucket.
Yeah, it's a simple
Storage.
storage, right?
Yeah.
So it's a simple storage solution. In short, we call it S3. Okay, because there are the three S. So we have policies, roles, and all those things you can play around actually, right? So this is kind of IAM, and which is very important. And you can see here SSO, AWS is SSO, single sign-on, right?
Yep.
Sparsh. So
Yes, I'm
this is the
seeing
same
some
single sign-on, same like as we have in Active Directory also.
Active
Yeah.
Directory.
Yes. So I will touch upon few things
So
related
you
with
have to give me a
I.
scenario as well. They're going to ask me what was the difficulty you faced while you were doing something with IAM. That is going to be one of the kind of
So right.
you could
So
have like
there
a
will
strong scenario.
yes. So what is the best practices? So see, in this there will be a lot of scenarios, but what you have to think about the best practices to manage
Yep.
your IAM. So what are the best practices? Minimum access. Okay, and whenever you are
Yep.
going to provide access, make sure that you are providing the proper access. Means person should be accessible to the resources like compute, storage, or whatever, right? And
Yep.
also you have to make sure that you are following all the security aspect of it. Proper role is defined, and if there are many users like 50 users you have to give access, so what will be the best practice? Create a group of it, right? And then assign the roles and to the respective group. Getting my point? So
Yep. Yep.
those kind of best practices you have to remember and you have to apply into your production environment. IAM is very simple actually. Okay.
Yep.
And scenario, what will be scenario? Like suppose you have given access to me. Okay. Now I'm telling, now I'm saying, hey, Sparsh, I cannot access compute. Getting my point? Now then you have to
Yep.
troubleshoot what access you provided to Ratnesh, right? Those kind
Yep.
of troubleshooting you can do.
So, but when we provide access, I think we have read, write, and
No, those things are not here. Okay, let me. Okay, if you are interested, I can show you. So users.
yep, add a user.
So add user simply. Let's do it actually.
Yeah,
Okay.
user one.
Right. So user one, access. Here you have two options.
Yep. So we'll give the
You
programmatic access.
right. Suppose you have given property access API kind of, right? So
Yep.
this console we are accessing through URL or AWS console, right?
Yep.
That is a like a layman option. Another option
Yep.
we can access through CLI. You can see this. Just click on this.
Cloud shell.
Yeah, Cloud Shell, right? So you can play around this, and here we go. Okay, so you
Yep.
can access from here also like a CLI. So you go
It's
there
the same
and
thing, right?
same thing, but
Okay.
mostly people prefer to go by the CLI. You are like Linux people, coming from
Oh, okay.
developers. But being infrastructure, I've seen people are not more comfortable with the CLI. Okay, next.
Yep.
Now, what are the things you are getting here? So
Copy permissions from existing user attach
right.
this
And
directly.
you have already one user, so you can copy the permission from there. Same like Active
Yep.
Directory, if
Yep.
you remember. And also, you can attach existing policy directly to the user or a group.
Oh,
Getting my point?
so it's
So,
straight away. So you would know if there
yeah,
is one another system administrator, you can copy his permissions and you can attach the existing policies.
that's right. So, if we talk about Active Directory, that is kind of that flexibility is not in Active Directory. You have to
Yeah,
go to
you have
yes
to add
users. Yeah, so that is kind of,
number of.
but yes, PowerShell is there, right? So you can automate those things actually. But here you are going to get all those automation in your GUI also, the console also. Okay,
Okay.
so you can see here set foundation. This is set permission boundary. What is this actually?
Sir, give me a second. Let me close the door. I think I have some noise coming from outside.
Sure, sure. Take your time. No problem.
Gap in my door. Actually, the Washington Wizards are playing their final basketball match.
Oh my God.
Busy watching that.
Yeah, football is very popular there, but we
No,
are
it's
not doing
basketball
it.
right now. It's
Oh, basketball.
NBA.
Okay, sir. Right. Basketball. Okay, after football, basketball, second game. But we are not very, we are only
Yeah.
crazy about cricket here in India. Okay,
And their football
so,
is also the one they play with hands.
oh, right. And the sand one, right? The same kind of.
Yeah.
Okay, so the boundary you can also define. The bound without a permission boundary, use permission boundary, control maximum user permissions. So all those things you can play
What does
around.
this mean without permission boundary?
So you don't want to restrict the user actually. I already told you, right? You have
Yeah.
compute, you have S3 bucket, right?
Yep.
And so if we will select this one, second option, see, getting
Oh,
my point? So you have to go custom access actually, to be very frank.
okay. So you can only give him access to EC2
Right,
levels.
yes.
Okay,
Compute,
okay.
network, and read-only access. So you were telling, right? Full
Yeah,
access,
yeah.
all those read-only access, right? So all those things you can control actually.
Yep.
And mostly when you are going to give access to external employees, like your partners, your vendor, your company partners and vendors I'm talking about, right?
Yep.
So because those people are external users, right? So what you
Yep.
can do, you can give them restricted or custom access. I think it's clear.
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's don't go into those complicated things. Okay.
No, no, no. I am not. I just want
Yeah,
to
yeah.
know what is, yeah. So I
That's
just
good. That's
want
good.
an
That's
idea.
good. That's good. Yeah, that will give you. So next, go to next
Tags.
tags. So what are the tags actually?
Just to
Tags.
remember, you want to give some tag, you want to add some
Uh,
information or
yeah, it's
something.
tag is not that easy how you are taking actually. It's very
Uh-huh.
important. So suppose you tagged your user, suppose Sparsh, right? And
Yeah.
you write down here pre-sales.
Yeah.
Getting, can you relate that? Sparsh is a
Yes, sir.
Sparsh belong to department of pre-sales cloud.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so
Yeah.
whenever you are going to search those users or you are going to apply any script through
Okay.
cloud CLI, AWS cloud CLI, or any third party DevOps engineering like Terraform, cloud formation, all those things, so you can
Yeah.
apply by using the tags. Okay, just go to next. User has no permission. Getting my point? We have
Yeah.
not provided any permissions. So if you go there back, okay,
Yeah.
and give some access actually, we don't want to use it without any access, right? Because this kind of user we create and we assign the permissions later on. But why later on? Let's give him access of anything what you're looking for. Let's give him the API. What we can give him, let's search for compute, right?
Yeah.
Compute, or yeah, not compute is coming, so try for EC2.
EC2.
Yeah, see, so EC2 coming, but not, I'm going to container. Okay, let's give container one. Okay, I will show you the container part also.
Okay.
Just select this. Yeah,
So you cannot give all the access, like give him access.
yeah, so that is not the best practice actually, right? Giving all
Okay.
access, it's not kind of, uh, not recommended solution. So within the, if you can see here, you have this policy available, EC2 container registry full access. What is
Yeah.
container here? So I talked about, right, yesterday, if you remember,
Yep, yep.
We have
It is
VMs and we have
basically a
uh,
instance where you move. It's like a VM's machine, like you have a
uh,
VMware machine. The same thing is an EC2 instance. If you migrate a VM,
uh,
it will become an EC2 instance in AWS.
that's right. That's right. Yeah. So those kind of things you can manage here, right?
Yep,
So let's create user. So you can see here download.csv. So we are doing actually using creating one user. So
yep,
suppose you are part of pre-sales team and HR team, you want to create thousand of users, 100 users. So you can go
yep,
and use your Excel file or your CSV file kind of spreadsheet, right? So
yep,
you can play around and user can log in by using this SS key and secret key. Okay.
yep.
So if you go to IAM again, let me show you other things.
Here it is.
Yeah, this is the IAM. So you have understanding on this, what things, okay, you provided the access, user is not able to,
Yeah,
things. Now let's play around with the user only. Okay. The user is here, right? So let's play with MFA and all those things. Okay.
yep.
So it's
Add
also asking add permission, right?
yep,
And you can see here you can apply also the policies, right? How you
yeah.
can also see, how the users login behavior and what things you are using. So the ARN is very important here,
Important.
right? What is
Amazon
ARN?
resource number.
Yes, so that is kind of SSID in AD, Active Directory. Remember there is some
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
reference ID. So this is kind
Reference
of,
ID.
yes, here you can compare the same thing, right? So you can
Yes.
assign the permissions, you can show groups. So we don't have any group actually because we are new, so we don't have.
Yep.
If you go to tags, tag was also not added because we have not added properly. Okay. So you can see here those access keys you were showing there, right? How to
Yeah.
access. So how can access this? You can go to putty, whatever you want to call. You can go to the putty and you can access your resources by credential. Okay. And here you can see your access advisor, what kind of access you have, this user have actually, and all those things you can manage actually. Okay, let's go back and try to MFA part. So
I think we'll come back on the dashboard. It asks you to give MFA.
right, so it's still showing it's not enabled, right?
Yep.
So you have to wait, it should show here also. Okay, we'll explore that. Why not showing here?
Just go to dashboard and it will say enable MFA.
Wait. Yeah. So here it is, right? So go
Yes, it is.
to activate MFA. So
MFA.
why we are enabling MFA? For security reasons. Means we
Yep.
want user ID and password, and then there should be some application authenticator kind of. So here you can go and activate MFA. You're right. So
Yeah.
there are many ways to activate that. So if you remember hardware days, actually the token hardware, right?
Yeah. RSA token.
RSA tokens, right? And but mostly people are not referring all those things actually nowadays. People are
Yeah.
going this. The first one is very,
Trust me, in
uh,
my company, they still use the RSA tokens.
yeah, many companies are using, especially if they are government organization, right? If they
Yeah.
are coming from financials, banking house, right? So I'm not going to use all those things because we don't have. So you can scan with QR code, all those things. So you can apply group up the users
And
and
how am I
also
gonna get two MFAs? It says download, put your first and second MFAs.
right. So suppose uh, like when you are going to do the QR code, right? It is going to scan,
Yep.
right? And then you can the code what you are going to get through mobile, kind of as
Yep.
yeah, those things first time you have to do. But when authentication will be happening or your authorization will be happening, it will be single code only. First time it is asking to just to make sure that your device is the right device actually, kind of.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
So that thing you can enable. And also there are many things actually related with that access key, that the access key if you want to
The secret
access.
access key. Yeah.
Yes. and there is CloudFront key peers. What is CloudFront, if you remember correctly?
So it was
CDN.
basically a CDN. So
Remember?
sure which is the nearest edge location so that
Yes.
less latency.
Right. So you are going to allow these things not for all users, only for those users who are engaged or who are involved with the CDN delivery, content
Yeah.
delivery network. Getting my point? And this is the
Yes.
Active Directory certificate. If you remember, these are very theoretical thing. X.509 certificate, account identifier, right? So all those things you can play around, roles. Okay. So what kind of role you want to assign? You have some built-in role, right? And you can create
Yep.
custom role also. Roles, nothing kind of, you can say like a global administrator or enterprise administrator, all those things. So let's create one
Okay.
role also for your understanding. Yeah. So see here, I'm creating one role for
For
which I'm
EC2
going to
Lambda
create.
levels.
Yes, I want to create for EC2. And what is Lambda? Lambda is nothing. Lambda function is kind of AWS proprietary services which automate the things. For automation, we use Lambda function.
Okay.
Okay. And you want to use for this AWS another, third party kind of, or you want to use, what is cognito mode actually?
So where is an basically it is where anything your history is not stored, nothing is saved. The you
But
just
that
use
is,
it.
yeah, you are giving example of web browser, Chrome or Safari,
Yeah.
right? But exactly that is not cognito in AWS,
Okay.
right? So cognito is like, suppose you are using laptop. Suppose you have Windows laptop, you have your MacBook, and you are using your iPad, your iPhone. Getting my point?
Yes.
So same application you are accessing from different devices. So what AWS Cognito will provide you, it will give you, it will save your, it will manage your profile. It will manage your profile actually, your user profile. Getting my point?
So it will manage my profile. Cognito.
Profile means, suppose you are accessing the same application from your mobile, and you are accessing from your MacBook also, or a laptop, right? So the whatever the things are you accessing, you are making changes, the profile management will be done by the Cognito. Okay.
So it
And
will be updated.
it will be updated, always updated, right? It will be
Okay.
always up to date. And that is little bit different from your browser cognito mode. Okay. What is this,
Okay.
Samuel?
I don't know.
You so I want to highlight it. If you understand, that's okay. If not, ignore it. Okay. So
Okay.
Kerberos LDAP.
Yes.
What is Kerberos and what is
So it
LDAP?
was basically it was also authentication process, but which we learned is not too secure. It was used
Mm.
before. It was basically Active Directory में सबसे पहले use होता था और वो कुछ
Mm-hmm.
path दे देता था या कुछ I think I've heard about it. शायद
Mm-hmm.
part of Active Directory otherwise, and it wasn't too secure. It was also related to um,
Yes, you got the
something.
point actually, the right one. It was not secure. That's important actually.
Yes, yes.
So we have legacy authentication. AAA, authorization, authentication, and audit, right? So Kerberos and LDAP, those are like legacy authentication services or
So what
protocol.
it is? A is last one.
Is
It. Second one is
authorization
authentication.
and audit.
First one is
Authorization,
authorization. Okay.
yeah, authorization, authentication, and
Authentication.
audit. Yeah. So we have to pronounce like A triple A.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Triple A.
triple A. Simple. So Kerberos and LDAP, they are not secure, or not secure actually. They're still into the existence. So that's why companies like Microsoft and other companies come up with the modern authentications,
Yep.
like SAML, like Open
Okay.
Auth 2.0, OIDC. Those word might be new for you, but if you can remember, it's okay. If not, don't worry about. You are into
So
going
like
to
SAML and what else?
O OAuth 2.0,
Okay.
and another one is OIDC. Okay,
OIDC.
so yeah, what I'm trying to tell you, all those things you just remember the names actually. If authentication discussion will be there, so AWS Cloud is supporting all the modern authentication. SAML is one of it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so because nowadays we have app-based word, right? So
Yeah.
app-based word like API calling is happening. One application is calling another application, and vice versa, kind of, right? So
Yep.
those authentication will be allowed through, suppose take example of your Gmail, or we talked
With
about
the
MFA,
Facebook and
right?
Instagram.
Yeah, okay, you have rightly said that is single sign-on, right? So what is
Yep.
happening between the Facebook and Instagram? API calling is happening because both are already single sign on, both are federated. They're using
Yep.
ADFS. So whenever you are logging as a Sparsh into Instagram, hey, this user has already account with Facebook, so allow him because he's already federated. Single sign on is there. Getting my point?
Yep.
So when you are going to create anything related with EC2, it is going to lambda function. So lambda function is nothing. It's just automate your services on behalf of you.
Okay.
Okay. So you have to select anything out of it. Okay. Suppose I have taken S3. Okay.
Yep.
For example, so what you are going to do here, allow on your behalf means
Let
S3.
them take care
Yeah.
of it themselves. It becomes like
Yes.
software as a service.
Right. So automate the things kind of. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
actually, manually, if we are going to do anything, it will be tedious job. So what the rules are, just to automate the things. Clear? So
Yep.
I will not spend more time on this part. Okay, let's quickly
Okay.
jump on because many things we have to cover. See, this like a kind of ocean actually AWS, right?
Yep.
So let's go. I am think clear. It's pretty, matching with
Yeah,
Active
yeah.
Directory.
It's clear,
So
clear.
then we have resource access management, and that is kind of, again, your, providing access. Cognitive we discuss, remember?
Yep, sir.
And here is a
Cognito
secret
is it will manage your profile even if I'm logging
profile.
profile for
Your different
apps.
devices
Still,
and
yeah.
devices.
Still, yeah.
Yes, right. Secret manager. What is secret manager?
Mm, I don't know.
Okay, let's open it. So, okay, have you ever CyberArk password? The
Yes, sir.
yeah, CyberArk
So
where
if
we
you had a
save,
production server, we used to go to
right?
CyberArks and we used to get a
Take the
temp
password,
for an
credentials,
hour.
right?
Yep.
Same thing actually. The secret manager is going
Okay.
to manage your credentials and its life cycle.
Yeah.
Okay, so you need not to discuss it more. Same
No.
thing actually. Okay. So in services, I will highlight something which is very important, might be for interview point of view. So secret manager, guard duty, just to, securing. Inspector is there just to watch, single sign on, need not to discuss, right?
No.
You already know. Massey, I'm ignoring, it is not very important. Single sign on, you already knowing. What is
Yes.
certificate manager?
This is like that IAS certificate manager.
Kind of SSL.
SSO.
SSL.
SSL, huh? SSL.
Yeah, not IIS one, SSL, Secure
Hmm.
Certificate Manager, right? Key management, same kind of thing actually. This KMS is AWS
It's like
service,
access key and secret key or some other key management.
right? What is the use of it? To secure your transaction. So,
Transaction.
right.
And even
So how
sometimes somebody forgot their own password, and if I have to reset for them, it is gonna ask me for the secret key and the access key.
that security is bringing up the security actually, right?
Yep.
So, uh, suppose you are transferring data. I'm giving example, the use case, what real time scenario
Yeah.
that should be asked by your the interview. So
Yep.
what is the benefit of this SSL and TLS keys? The benefit is, data in transit, data in rest. Write down it in your
I'm
notes.
writing.
Yeah,
Data
please.
in transit.
And data in rest. So, what is your understanding? What is data in transit and what is data in rest?
Data in transit is if you're trying to move some data from one database server to another database server or anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
That is data in transit.
And rest?
Rest is that if it is being stored and there is no action being called on the database server.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, you are pretty clear about this data in transit and rest, but it is not only for database, it's for everything actually.
Oh, okay.
For storage also, for your file
Okay.
services also. So, what the key management do actually, this secure your data when data is transferring or data in transit or in data in rest. So it will secure by using KMS. We call it AWS KMS, key management service.
Okay.
So what it will do, it will
It will secure the data.
secure the data, your storage and everything, so no one can access without proper access. Got
Yep.
it? Cloud SHM not required for you. Directory services same like Active Directory. Okay.
Yep.
So why we need directory services here? Suppose this directory service is like AWS directory service. Okay.
Okay.
And you want to integrate your Azure Active Directory or Microsoft Active Directory. All those API calling will be happening through directory service. You can integrate also. Okay.
Yep.
And another product is their Okta solution. You heard about that? Okta?
Okta solutions. No.
No. So keep in mind, if someone has asked if you don't want to use Azure Active Directory or what kind of solution third party you're going to use, so you can mention Okta. That is like really secure and it is kind of API calling based off. It's kind of IAM solution actually, identity and access management solution, which is mostly used by Google Cloud. Okay, but yes,
Okay.
many vendors are using nowadays. Okay,
Okay.
so the directory services and what is WAF? Web application
Okay.
firewall. What is WAF?
Okay. Web application firewall.
What is okay? It's okay. What
I think it
else?
is when you are hosting a firewall, when you're hosting a web application. Because when you're hosting
Mhm.
a web application, you need internet, you need the website and the database server that was on the AWS. So I think the firewall that helps and secures your website is your WAF.
Yes. So actually, suppose you have any application hosted within the AWS cloud. So by
Yeah.
using WAP, what will happen? You can control your traffic, incoming traffic, outgoing traffic. So you can do the filtering. Okay. So you don't suppose you have your own website and you don't want to allow to access to Ratnesh. So what you can do? You can apply policy. So if this user is coming, user one or Ratnesh one coming, so WAP will block the user. Hey, man, you are not allowed. Access denied.
Okay.
So all the hackers, all the
Okay.
those hackers people, or what they're doing actually, they're trying to hack the applications and make sure that they customizing it and making use of it for the worst thing actually. So by using WAF, you can minimize those things. Okay. So
Okay.
firewall manager need not to tell. It's
But how
simple.
do we know that if this is an hackers or something?
So
Is
it's yeah. So it WAF has some capabilities, machine learning capabilities, or they have
okay.
artificial intelligence. They will so, they'll suppose user is so if you're certified user like you are already created in AWS IAM and you are coming, then it will be allowed. But you are some suspicious user, right? And you are
Yep.
not intended to log in or check, it will be blocked immediately. Okay. So
Yep.
the firewall is need not to tell. Artifacts not required. Security is kind of same as your all the antivirus, and everything will be there. Detective, again forensic detection and all those things. Audit manager same like simple actually. And network firewall is like you have this application firewall and this is network firewall means kind of you can think
Network.
of BPC, and security groups, and we talk about those things actually. You might be knowing a few words. And
Yep.
NACL,
And it's
right? Those NACL, yeah. network access list,
Yep.
NACL, right? So
Yep.
all those things come under IAM. So now what things will come, what question will be from IAM, there will be very less questions. Okay.
Yep. I
But
get that.
yes, yeah, so their questions will be from security point of view.
Yep.
Okay. So security point of view, so I'm going to share you the security documentation of AWS, complete security documentation. Okay. You can
Oh,
go
okay.
through with it, but I will talk about 4 5 things of security of AWS. Keep in mind. So
Oh, okay.
in IAM, what security features you are going to apply? MFA.
NFA.
Okay. Multi-factor,
Yeah,
one of the
multi-factor
security.
authentication.
Right. Second one, you can think of
Single sign-on.
single sign-on. Yes. Third one, I already walked through. I'm just recalling
Yeah,
all
yeah,
those
yeah.
things. Okay.
Third
Third
one,
thing,
we could think of any policies or
yes, policies, proper policies.
proper
Right. What
policies, what kind
else?
of permissions you want to give.
Yeah. What
Yep.
else?
And then about these firewalls, web application firewall, network access firewall,
Yes. So we can apply web application firewall. We can use AWS firewall, right?
and key
And
management service.
yes. So whenever data transition happening, you have to make sure that your data is encrypted always. Use the
Yeah,
crypto the
SSL and
cryptography
TLS.
SSL TLS. Yes, got it. So
Yes, sir.
there will be question from there only, and no other question possible. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So I think it makes sense. Let's move to quickly compute actually. Okay. So we
Yep.
invested a lot of time on IEM. Okay. So EC2. So suppose the first thing, like how you are going to create your EC2 instance. So I think you already created or not.
Yep. Launch an instance.
Right, same thing actually. You launch it, right? So
Yep.
same thing I'm not going to do actually if you already did. Okay. What I'm going to talk about other things within the EC2. So in EC2, uh, if you created right EC2 instances, what is EMI?
So it is basically the operating systems, and it is called
Mm-hmm.
I think I wrote it somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
It is basically called
Amazon
Amazon
machine
Machine
image, right?
Image. Yeah,
Yeah,
machine
Amazon.
image.
Yes. What is AWS Marketplace?
So marketplaces for DevOps kind of thing that they have a lot of options. If you wanted
Mm-hmm.
something, host a website like machine learning or something, and all that kind of
Mm-hmm.
images on your web server or something. I think
Mm-hmm.
probably I'll say it's like a platform for any service, platform as a service kind of marketplace.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Actually, just
Yep.
compare with Amazon. It's very simple.
Okay.
No rocket science. So what is
Okay.
Amazon app? You suppose you are accessing Amazon app. Why you are accessing Amazon app? For shopping?
Yes, sir.
But there you are doing shopping for your things, your personal things and all those things, right?
Yep.
Here in AWS Marketplace, you are going to do the shopping related with AWS Cloud.
Yes. Cloud. Yeah.
Yes, and you are going to get all the third party vendors like Cisco, Microsoft, Palo Alto, or EMC Square, all those. So all nowadays, all companies are making their APIs.
Yep.
So what is API?
It's basically automated.
In between, I'm taking your interview also, if you
Yeah,
don't
yeah, which
mind.
is good. I think
I
like this you
hope you
could
don't
do.
mind.
No, sir, I'm enjoying it. This makes sure that I'll remember everything.
Right, right, yeah. So
Yeah.
API,
API.
application programming interface.
Yes, application programming interface. I'm gonna write it.
Okay. So actually nowadays, everything through API. I will again take example, same example, Facebook and Insta. What is
Yeah.
happening? Insta calling to Facebook API and Facebook is calling to Insta API and they're
Yeah. So it's
communicating.
like different websites calling each other.
Yes. So there is automated. scripts there, or people are now using bots also, right? The machine learning bots, artificial intelligence, robots, all those
So
things.
it was
So
application programming
interface.
interface, right?
You
Yes.
can correct it by googling it. Well, I think it's the same thing actually. Yeah. Sometimes it's very tough to remember all those acronyms actually, right? So
Yeah.
you can double check it online also, because we should rely more on Google. Okay.
Yep.
So AWS Marketplace, like suppose you want to build something. I will take example of a VMware actually. So VMware
Okay.
is very, VMware is very uh,
Hardware
cooperative.
base.
No, 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 not hardware, because VMware is like very friendly with AWS, and they have very smart or good partnership altogether.
Hmm.
So you can host your VMware instances within the AWS, right? So VMware Cloud on AWS, that is also possible. So if
Oh,
suppose
okay.
you want to ESXi image, so why it is not showing here? Because we have free tier,
Yeah.
because it we are using free tier. So in free, everything you are not going to get, right? So
Oh,
AMI,
okay.
AMI is nothing. It's kind of image which generally we use
Machine
to create
image.
a
Amazon
machine
machine
image,
image.
right? To create our EC2 instances. That is nothing. VMs, servers, VDIs, right?
Yep.
Okay, just quickly, I will not focus on these things now, because I have to cover your storage part, and then I will, talk about this
Network
security
part.
part. Then I will discuss this, right? Coming to load
Yes.
balancer.
Yep. Is
Load
for
balancer.
controlling
Hmm?
traffic and maybe for disaster recovery purpose as well. So if suppose
Hmm.
now your one server go, or if you have a lot of traffic and you just want to balance it, so you could just send it
Right,
to the
right.
other
Yeah,
server.
take example of your VMware actually, right?
Yep.
So in VMware, suppose you are using any application where you have, many servers in the backend. What you can do, you can create one load balancer VIP, and behind the VIP there will be many servers. So your request will be hitting one by one, round robin or first come first services kind of. So that balancer is also available in AWS. And the last, auto scaling I'm talking about, I will be discussing here. What is auto scaling?
Auto scaling is basically it was where you this helps you find I think it also helps you with load balancing. It's the same thing. Launch
It's
a
actually not
configuration.
not
You could
same,
do it for
not
some
same,
time. You
not
could
same.
buy
Okay.
some server for some time and then they could.
Yes, you got it. You got it. Yes. Remember when we did, used to do this shopping on different applications, or earlier application was not there, browser-based application there. Remember? So
Yep.
when Diwali offer is coming or Christmas is coming, right? Take example of US only. So
Yeah.
only when Christmas is coming on the way, or New Year is coming, Thanksgiving, thanks taking, all those things, right? So
Yeah.
your application got crashed, because there are like millions of people are accessing the same application, and they're ordering their, they are ordering their
Yeah.
gifting and everything. So what was the problem? The problem was the vendor, the service provider, e-commerce company has their own data center, and they're used to, like 100 servers. Now, if your user base got increased, customer base got increased from 10 million to 100 million, what will happen? Your servers are not sufficient. Getting my point?
Yeah.
So what AWS is providing, auto scaling. Getting my point? You create our auto
Yes.
scaling groups, and whenever there will be more load on your application, AWS Cloud is smart enough to understand that load is increasing accordingly. Auto scaling feature will add more servers. When I'm talking more servers means more EC2 instances. Is
EC2
it clear?
instances. Yep.
Make sense?
Yep.
Okay, so that is like load balancers and auto scaling. That feature should be, asked. What is the best practice, to make high availability? And so one question might
What
be
is the
asked by,
main difference between a load balancer and an auto scaling? So load balancer is you give it permanently in your system, and auto scaling is when AWS understands on its own and gives. Extra server.
Actually, load balancers is kind of distributing the load actually. Both are
Oh, okay.
different, but both are part of HA only, high availability,
High
but in different
availability.
ways, in different medium.
Yeah.
So high availability is coming through load balancer also, LB, and
Yeah.
auto scaling also. But in load balancing, what you are doing, you are distributing your loads across the EC2 instances or servers. But
Okay.
auto scaling is kind of increasing the number of servers, same kind of set of servers to make sure that your application is handling the load across the board. Okay.
Okay.
So this is kind of EC2 instances. Quickly, I will go to the container services. Might you get questions from the container also? Container is mentioned in your JD or not?
Yes, sir. S3 buckets. S3.
And container? No, not that container. I'm talking about this ECR. Is this mentioned out there or not?
So they
I
asked me
will.
about Kubernetes and Red Hat. This comes in, I
Kubernetes.
think, Linux, right?
No, ECR actually. That comes under
Oh,
ECR.
yeah.
Okay. So at the if you remember, study we discussed about the VMs, right?
Yep.
And also we discuss about containers.
Yep.
So container is nothing, is kind of a small version or lightweight solution. I talked about
Yeah,
fat
yeah,
client
yeah.
and is in this fat client and thin client kind of thing, remember?
Fat client and something.
Yes.
It's on
So
Linux, Ubuntu,
yeah,
CentOS,
so
Red Hat.
the containers, you heard about Docker images?
Yes, sir. So on
Yes.
Docker profile, you can host multiple applications.
Right, right. So we can
That I saw in your
and
that document.
right, and you can automate through Kubernetes clustering.
Okay.
Okay, so there are a lot of things actually. So just don't go into the detail because it's not that easy how we are talking about. It's very complicated, but because you have to face the interview, keep in mind there will be few things which will be asked related. They will ask you Kubernetes also.
Yep.
So you can say within the Kubernetes, what we can do, we can host microservices. Remember, we talked about monolithic and
Microservices.
microservices, right? So
Yep.
what I will do actually, let's just discuss this container and this thing uh, your tomorrow actually, your tomorrow morning.
Okay.
Okay, and
So
in
then we
between,
have a migration to do as well.
yes, but I want you to go through the migration documentation first, then I will discuss 10 to 15 minutes and it will be clear to you. First go through the document.
Okay.
Okay, because I'm not going to take 10 to 15 minutes, more than 10 to 15 minutes to explain you everything, because I'm not going to show you the documentation. You have to see by your own. What I will do, I will draw the picture how the migration happened. Getting my point?
But we could just do one migration because just if we have access, let's just do one migration analysis. Because then my questions will be more scenario. When I was installing IAM,
Uh-huh.
user came to me and he
Uh-huh.
like I'll tell you one scenario I found myself. So I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to reset his password, but when I was trying to access his key and his secret key, I
Mm-hmm.
was getting an error when I was doing it from the uh, CW from the console.
Console. Okay. Mm-hmm.
AWS console. So when I
Okay.
wrote AWS configuration and I was putting it his access key and his secret access key, it was giving me
Mm-hmm.
an error. So
Okay.
and then later when I researched and I realized it does not take the old access key. You have to
Yes,
give it
there is some.
and then
um,
get it
mhm.
back. And
Right.
then
So
I realized. So this is a scenario I faced during an
yeah,
AWS thing, right?
the right one, right one. See,
Scenarios they're gonna ask me what was your task,
yeah,
what you had to
right.
do. So these are the
So
kind of scenarios I need for all.
right, right. So whenever you are going to create any, users and their secret key, so there is a time bound access actually.
Yeah, and I did not know that.
Yeah,
So
there
this
is a
is what I am gonna
limitations.
say as an IEM example. If they ask me something you had with IEM,
Right.
to tell
So,
this thing.
like the secret key and all those things are time bound actually. One of the scenario.
Yeah,
So that was you are not aware, but it's kind of hands-on thing. When you're going to work on those things, so you will understand why this thing is not working. You have to create new secret key, kind of.
yeah.
You have to generate new one.
So That is the
Another
kind
thing,
of scenarios I need. Yeah.
yeah, another thing is like something someone is accessing from the putty,
Yeah.
you know, and same thing when user is logging, user is logging through console, it's allowed. I'm giving you scenario.
Yep.
Okay, but when user is logging, suppose EC2 instance, okay, EC2
Yep.
instance you are accessing through directly, accessing from console, you are accessible, but it's not accessible from putty.
Oh,
Okay, what troubleshooting will do?
I don't know. Should
So remember,
yeah.
if you are using any user with access, there are two options: programmatic or AWS console. So
Once
if you
again.
select the there was when I was creating user, remember user one.
Yep.
So there are two options. One is like programmatic, remember, and another like CLI, SDK. Another was AWS console. So if you will
Yep.
select AWS console, user cannot access through putty. Getting my point?
Okay.
So you have to think what type of access you are giving to the user.
Can I
Okay,
give both the access or not?
both options, yes, you can allow both options. There were check boxes, remember, there were check boxes.
Okay.
You can
I'll
allow it
check
both.
once I leave this
Yeah, you
class
can
that
check.
if there were.
Right. So those
I'll
kind
find
of,
out.
and certificate also, right? The question will be SSL on questions, right? KMS. There is expiry of all those certifications, right? So you have to make
Yep.
sure that you are renewing those certificates. You are keeping track of those certificates. So those kind of questions should be there. Scenario based
After
question will
how
be
long
there.
a SSL or TLS certificate?
There is a like 1 year kind of, six
Oh,
months
okay.
also, mostly 1 year, but there will be real chances of having another 6 months or kind of. Okay, so what I
Okay.
will do, I will share the security documentation with you, another document. Okay,
Okay.
and tomorrow morning I will finish this Kubernetes for you. Okay,
Okay.
and quickly I will jump on this migration part. Okay,
Okay.
and rest, we'll see how what else we can cover in our tomorrow your morning. Okay,
Yep.
okay, good night, bye bye.
Good night, sir.
Bye bye.
Do you think this is going to be enough for my AWS interview?
Yes, of course.
I'll also share you my exact job profile that AWS has on their website. So
Okay, you
all I
can.
need
So
is like those 9 divisions that I did. I just need
uh,
good scenarios and I will prepare them very well with everything
okay.
and I'll be
Uh-huh.
able to speak about it because the recruiter told me, he said,
Uh-huh.
only thing Amazon cares about is star methodology of answers. So that is
Okay.
S stands for situation, T stands for task, A stands for
Mm-hmm.
action, R stands for result.
Mm-hmm.
To give them a situation you stuck in, then you have
Mm-hmm.
to ask what you were supposed to do, and then you have to give them what did action did you take for that
Mm-hmm.
and what was the result.
Okay, so like same thing, just one question. Think about it. We'll discuss it tomorrow morning. Suppose
Yeah.
you created EC2 instances. Okay, I'm giving a scenario.
Yeah.
So see, scenario is like there are a lot of scenario. So we can
Yes,
we
sir.
can think one, two, or something like that, right?
Yes, sir.
So
One two good and long and like impressive scenarios, and I
right.
will
So
bail
you
them. And
created.
if I get
So
a sir, if
I'm
I
I'm
get this job, I will be thankful to you for the rest of my life.
rightly. Yes, I will. It will really appreciate it. So question is, I'm giving you question now. Now you
Yes.
think about, and we'll discuss in tomorrow morning. Scenario one, scenario I'm giving you exactly.
Okay.
So suppose you created one EC2 instances, right?
Okay.
And you created another EC2 instances.
Okay.
Now you are not able to ping from one EC2 instance to another EC2 instance. What will you do on both our Windows servers? 2019. Think about it. Come tomorrow. We'll discuss
Once
it.
again, sir, what was the question? I created one EC2 instance and then I created another
Another one,
instance. Both
but
of
you
those
are not
instance,
able to ping. You are not able to ping each other.
sir, I will give them DNS and the same.
Think about it. Think about it. Okay.
Okay.
Think about it. Take your time,
Okay.
and both are Windows Server 2019. So
Oh,
this is
okay.
kind of scenario based question, and those are real time scenarios questions. Okay,
Thank you, sir.
you are
This
going to
is what I
face.
need.
Yes. So focus on that, and let's discuss tomorrow. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Bye. Good night.
Bye.